Uffe. We've invited him for 3 different reasons. First of all, the game industry in the Scandinavian countries are getting a lot of support through the cultural programs. We like that, and I think a lot of us are very grateful for that. Second, Uffe has a past as a cultural entrepreneur himself, which means that he's not adverse to the idea of culture and business mingling, which means games and business mingling, which is also awesome. And third of all, because I think Uffe is a very, very cool and relaxed and great person for this audience. So please, the Minister of Culture.
I'll see it works. Okay, thank you for the invitation, Anders, and it's really a pleasure to be standing here and looking up to all you guys and a few women. And I've actually been looking forward to say hello to all of you. Why? Because, as you maybe know, all the Danes know, but all the guys and a few women who is coming from abroad, maybe you don't know that we've got a new government in Denmark, but we have got a new government 4 months ago, and we have a lot of challenges ahead of us, and I thought, where can I get some good energy for that work? And then the invitation came, and I said, yes, I have to pick your brains, I have to learn from what you're doing, and I have just a few reflections or remarks concerning what is happening during the upcoming weekend, in this case here in this house. For me, the reason why I think that the gaming industry is interesting is that it's also about storytelling. It's about creating new stories for today's society, but for sure for also tomorrow's society. And I just had an interview with one of the journalists who is present at the moment, and he asked me, why is the gaming industry interesting for you as Minister for Culture? And I said that for me, what gaming can do is that actually you can produce, as I said before, new interesting stories, but also stories who creates meaning for the person who is doing the gaming. So for me, what I would really like to challenge you is how can you produce really, really interesting content in your productions? Because at the moment, if you are standing a bit away from what you are a part of and are looking into what you are doing from the outside, there are certain framing about gaming and game industry that is all about young guys sitting in a dark room producing war stories. That's actually the negative framing of what you're up to. And for me, as a politician, at least I would like to challenge you or try to inspire you to produce stories, games, who reflect the challenge in the world as we see it today. So it's not only about entertainment, it's also about education. And how can you actually create meaningful stories for the people who would be part of the gaming process and the gaming experience? And right now we are facing huge challenge as society. Maybe we're facing the most critical moment at least here in Europe when it comes to the economic challenge, which is part of political challenge. So in a way, we are in an economic crisis, but we're also in a political crisis. And if both economic and policy is in a wonderful phase, what do we have as an answer? And for me, art and culture could play a role in how we invent society as we know it today. Maybe you think this reflection is way far away from what you are actually going to do during the weekend. But for me, you are not. Because first of all, there's a lot of creativity in this room. There's a lot of entrepreneurship in this room. There's a lot of grassroots energy in this room, because you couldn't organize an event like this if people were doing a lot of free work. I know Anders and the rest of the team, they are working without getting any salary. The only reason why this event can happen is because people are volunteering are showing up, putting all the efforts into creating a great event. And that energy, that creativity, that entrepreneurship is so needed if we're going to challenge and creating a situation, a positive future after the crisis we're in right now. So, see, from my point of view, speaking from my heart, I hope that you will produce really interesting stories. And in these stories, you are facing some of the really tough issues, which is part of the reality today. And then together create a community who has all this really interesting DNA code, which consists of creativity, entrepreneurship, and the ambition to take part in the society. Actually create a community who has a voice. And that was actually also one of the questions from this journalist. Where are you? He said to me, so how do you actually see the game industry today if you compare it to the film industry, design industry, fashion, etc.? Are you just a new kid on the block, or what are you? And yes, you are the new kid on the block. You're the little kid, little brother to some of the big brothers. But one day the big brothers will die and you will be the big brother. So I just hope that you'll have a great weekend and produce some really cool stuff and come up with a fresh voice who reflect the diversity in society. Figure out what kind of persons, what kind of issues, what kind of conflicts you want to be part of your stories and your productions. And then please give all the volunteers during the next 2 days a lot of kisses. Invite them to the dance floor if you have a dance floor. Or at least give them some thumbs up, because that's the only salary they get, is your positive feedback, and clean the room after you. So